Let's take a journey into the distant past. You had a father, who had a father, who had a father, and on and on. You can keep going back for as long as you want, and you will find an unbroken line of fathers and sons. Now imagine continuing to trace that line back 1,000 years. For sure, you had a father standing somewhere on the earth 1,000 years ago. The same blood, the same DNA, a very clear connection to you, unbroken through all of these centuries. Every single one of us alive today had a father standing on the earth 1,000 years ago. And somewhere in the last 1,000 years, one of those fathers stood on this earth with a sword in his hand on a battlefield. For sure. And it is very likely that he killed someone. And maybe he was killed, but before he died, he had the courage to create. He had the courage to create a son, who created a son, who created a son all the way down to you. And also imagine that along with your father 1,000 years ago, there were other men standing beside him. And some of those men have no living sons today. Their line died out, vanished from the earth, and your line did not. The implication of this is that you have the blood of champions. Think about that for a moment. Through all the disease and wars and famine and migration and crusades and persecution, your bloodline survived. Your fathers were winners. They won. You are his legacy. Your line is unbroken. Your line survived. You have the bloodline of champions. You are a champion. 1,000 years ago, your father stood on this earth with a sword in his hand on a battlefield. And you're afraid to talk to that girl?